Welcome back to Anony Me. Today we're going to sit with an idea that sounds almost upside down: the less you do, the further you go. Sounds like a trick, doesn't it? Because the world trains us to pile on more. More hours. More hustle. More plates spinning in the air. We cheer for busy calendars as if they're medals. But what if busyness is just noise? What if the music only starts when you stop adding instruments? Let me tell you a story. Years ago, when I was freelancing, I thought survival meant saying yes to every client. I stacked 5 contracts at once, proud of my full schedule, terrified of missing income. Then one day, a client sent me a polite but cutting note: "This looks rushed." They were right. I was too thin, stretched over too much, like butter scraped on too much bread. That sting taught me more than any productivity book: the work that matters dies when it's spread too wide. So I let 3 clients go and focused on 2 I cared about. Within months, the work improved, my evenings came back, and strangely, my income didn't shrink. It grew. That was my first real lesson in the power of less. So why does doing less work so well? First, because focus changes everything. Think of your attention like sunlight. Scattered, it warms the room a little. Concentrated through a magnifying glass, it sets wood on fire. The difference isn't in the light, it's in the focus. When you shrink your commitments, the things left on your plate get your best energy, and they grow faster. Ask yourself, what's the one project that quietly scares you? The one you keep postponing because the urgent little tasks shout louder? Imagine giving it just 1 protected hour a day, no notifications, no interruptions, just you and the work. 1 focused hour often outruns 6 distracted ones. That's not magic. That's concentration. But there's another reason doing less works: it frees you to build leverage. And leverage is the secret that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. A friend of mine runs a small design studio. For years she spent Sundays writing proposals from scratch. She was always behind, always drained. Then she did something simple: she built a reusable template, and she automated her follow-up emails. Suddenly Sundays were free. Clients responded faster. Her business grew, not because she worked more, but because she set up systems that multiplied her reach. Leverage is everywhere if you make space for it. Templates. Automations. Delegating the tasks you dread. Even batching similar work so you don't lose energy jumping between tabs. Doing less isn't about shrinking your ambition, it's about giving yourself the space to create multipliers. And here's the third truth: doing less makes your life sustainable. Hustle feels heroic, I know. I used to admire people who bragged about sleepless nights and coffee-fueled mornings. But let's be honest, hustle burns bright and then burns out. I worked with someone who launched project after project at breakneck speed. The early wins were thrilling, but fatigue caught up. The joy of creating faded. They almost quit altogether. What saved them was rhythm, bursts of focused effort followed by deliberate rest. Vacations. Offline evenings. Hobbies that had nothing to do with work. And you know what? Their best ideas started showing up again. When you allow stillness, your mind surprises you. Creativity breathes easier. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, that all sounds nice, but I can't just drop things. Life demands hustle. Bills demand work. People expect me to show up. And you're right, there are seasons where you must run. A launch, a deadline, a crisis. But the difference is intention. Sprint when the race is on. Rest when it's not. Don't let the sprint become the default, or you'll never finish the marathon. Of course, there are pitfalls. Sometimes people cut the wrong things, the hard but valuable tasks that actually move them forward. Sometimes they tidy their to-do list just to feel virtuous, while the real priorities remain untouched. And yes, some people around you will frown. They'll say, lazy. They'll wonder why you're not busy like everyone else. Let them. Your results will speak in time. Busyness is visible, defectiveness is quiet. So how do we start? Here's a simple playbook. First, audit yourself for a week. Write down where your hours go, even the scrolling and the mindless meetings. You'll be shocked at what leaks your energy. Next, look at the list and circle the few activities that bring real progress. These are your 20%, the vital few. Then, pick 1 to 3 of them and guard them like treasure. Block time for them. Turn off notifications. If you can, shut the door. Protect them fiercely. What about the rest? Cut, delegate, or automate. If it doesn't matter and no one will cry if it disappears, cut it. If it must be done but not by you, delegate it. If it repeats every week, automate it. Simple rule, hard to practice, but life-changing once you do. Now comes the tricky part, saying no. For most of us, no feels like betrayal. So here are 3 lines I've practiced. 1. I'd love to, but I'm focused on X right now, can we revisit later? 2. I can't take that on this month. Here's someone who might help instead. And 3. Not possible for me now, but thanks for thinking of me. Short. Kind. Honest. That's all you need. If you want a test drive, try this 14-day experiment. In week 1, track your time and pick one priority. Guard an hour a day for it. In week 2, add one system, maybe a template, maybe a small automation. Say no to just one thing that doesn't align. At the end of the 2 weeks, ask yourself, what changed? Did the sky fall? Or did you breathe easier? My bet is on the second. Let me tell you about Maya, an indie game designer I once coached. She was juggling 3 games, a teaching job, and community events. Always busy, always tired. Players noticed, updates were sloppy, reviews lukewarm. One day, she made a daring move, she paused 2 projects. Focused on one. For 6 weeks, she poured herself into that single game, listened deeply to her players, and refined it. When she relaunched, the reviews were glowing. Her community grew. And she rediscovered joy. Less work, more impact. That's the paradox. So, ask yourself, what would happen if you gave 6 weeks of focus to one thing that truly matters? What would you finish? What would you build? What would you finally bring into the world? Before we close, let's clear up some common questions. What if you lose momentum by doing less? Well, momentum comes from meaningful wins, not motion. Protecting one task and finishing it is momentum. Another question, how do you balance urgent fires? My tip, create an urgent buffer. Set aside a short window each day for emergencies and emails. Outside that window, stay in focus mode. Fires can wait until their turn. And what about explaining boundaries to others? Keep it simple. I'm protecting mornings for deep focus. If it's urgent, call. Otherwise, I'll respond later. Clear, short, respectful. Friends, doing less isn't laziness. It's design. It's making your life sustainable enough to keep going, and sharp enough to produce work that matters. Years ago, I chased the shiny, side projects, extra gigs, a busy calendar that impressed nobody. The turning point came when I subtracted. The quality of my work climbed. My ideas connected. My evenings returned. My relationships deepened. I did less, and I won more. So this week, here's your invitation, pick one priority. Block 3 hours for it, in whatever chunks you can manage. And say no to one recurring, low-value task. Then watch what changes. If this episode resonated with you, like it, share it, and tell me in the comments, what's one thing you'll stop doing this week? Let's learn from each other. Remember, doing less isn't giving up. It's choosing where you win. Thanks for spending this time with me. Until next time, this is Anony Me, reminding you, less really can be more.